Rent prices aren't rising everywhere anymore. In fact, in several U.S. cities, rent is quietly collapsing. This isn't happening because landlords suddenly became generous. It's happening because the balance of power in the housing market is changing. For years, renters had very little leverage. Demand was high, supply was tight, and prices climbed faster than incomes. But housing markets don't stay unbalanced forever. What we're seeing now is a slow correction. Over the last few years, certain U.S. cities experienced massive rent growth. Remote work pulled people into new areas. Developers rushed to build, and landlords pushed prices as high as the market would allow. In many cases, prices went beyond what local incomes could realistically support. That's where the problem began. When rent grows faster than wages, it eventually hits a ceiling. People move away, downsize, or stop forming new households. And once that happens, vacancy starts to rise. Vacancy is the most important signal in the rental market. When units sit empty, landlords lose leverage, and when leverage disappears, rent stops rising. In some cities, it has already started to fall. Take cities like Austin, Phoenix, Las Vegas, and Boise. These places saw huge population inflows during the pandemic years. Remote workers arrived quickly, rents surged, construction followed, developers built aggressively, expecting demand to stay high. But demand changed faster than expected. Remote work stabilized. Some workers returned to larger cities. Others moved again as living costs climbed. At the same time, thousands of new apartment units hit the market. When supply increases faster than demand, prices adjust downward. Landlords in these cities are now competing for tenants. Instead of raising rent, they're offering concessions, free months, lower advertised prices, flexible lease terms. These are early signs of rent decline. In tech-heavy cities like San Francisco and Seattle, the story is different, but the outcome is similar. Here, rent didn't collapse because of overbuilding alone. It fell because of income changes. Tech layoffs reduced the number of high-paying renters. Office demand shrank. Some residents left. Altogether, luxury apartments that once filled instantly began sitting empty, and empty units forced landlords to cut prices. In cities like Atlanta, Denver, and Nashville, the issue is construction oversupply. These cities built aggressively during the boom years. Developers assumed population growth would continue at the same pace, but growth slowed. When too many units chase too few renters, the market resets. Landlords lower prices not because they want to, but because they have to. Across all of these cities, the pattern is the same. Rent doesn't fall because inflation slows. It doesn't fall because headlines change. It falls when vacancy rises enough to remove pricing power. That's the real driver. It's also why rent is not falling everywhere. In cities with strict zoning laws, limited land, or strong job growth, supply remains constrained. Even if demand cools slightly, prices hold up. This is why housing markets behave differently from one city to another. Rent is local. It reflects jobs, income, construction, and population movement. The recent declines we're seeing are not signs of a housing collapse. They are signs of a market correcting after an extreme imbalance. Rent doesn't crash overnight. It adjusts slowly, often quietly. And for renters in these cities, that adjustment finally means options, lower prices, more negotiating power, and more flexibility. For landlords, it's a reminder that pricing power is never permanent. Housing markets don't respond to emotion. They respond to supply and demand. And when supply finally catches demand, rent stops rising. That's what we're seeing now.